and then put it out now. There's
why would you record it?
Exactly. But listen,
you're with somebody
what I'm saying is, if people do stupid things on a phone, maybe you've had a few drinks, as you say, you wake up in the morning, it's like, delete that or whatever, you're a bit like, but for someone to keep that, listen, he's had a nightmare, and I'm not sure, I don't see how we can referee in England.
You know what, as a referee as well, I have to go along with that about how can anybody be filming that.
Yeah.
And that's something that he's got to be aware of. Listen,
of course.
That you cannot put out because...
But you wake up the next morning, if he's had a few drinks and go...
He looked like he was caned. He looked like he was out of it, but...
That second video that he does...
Viewers, make sure you hit the like button for us before we go any further. Make sure you are subscribing. The overlap discussing the David Coote situation. And I have to say, I've seen snippets, I've seen bits so far. I'm watching... I always watch the podcast anyway. I'm a big fan. Some of the people on this are heroes of mine. But I am disappointed. First of all, the first few minutes they're speaking about it, they're so focused on why was it recorded, why are you letting this happen? For me, that's like right down the bottom of the pecking order. Let's focus on why it was being said, the ramifications, the problematic nature of it. Not, bloody hell, imagine letting somebody record you say that. It shows a bad lapse in judgment from David Coote, but it shouldn't be the top of the priority list in this conversation.
Just say that can't go out, doesn't he? Just say that's not for obviously showing.
Obviously, you know what I mean? It's
but the fella, when he's saying it, the fella's, it's on that camera there, so just when you're saying it into the camera, just...
Well, of course, but the problem is, and this is why it's a wider problem than the David Coote situation, it's why it's a bigger problem than just how does this impact Liverpool. Football fans have been talking about this for a long time. Because of things the overlap have exposed, and we're going to show that a little bit later on, so stick with us. But clubs and fans do feel targeted based on bias. But the reason why I think, whether it's incompetence, whether it's bias, whether it's just human error, the reason why I think it's got worse over time with their referees is because they're so sheltered. That sheltered nature is probably why... Look, there's videos of David Coote and other referees jollying it up with ladies of the night in other countries. There's talk now of conversations with minors that may be coming out. There's multiple, him recording himself as a 42-year-old man snorting white powder. This is either someone who has lost it and is having a cry for help. Some people have slammed me for saying that. Or this is someone who just thinks it's all going to be okay because we're so in-house, we're so protected, nothing bad happens to me anyway.
You know something?
What did he say? I've not really... He just slagged...
He called him.
Right, okay, is that it? So he slagged Klopp off? Yeah. Do you not think other referees do it privately and think it? And they must have chats with their friends. Obviously, he's just been caught on camera. But if he thinks that of Jurgen Klopp, does that mean he should stop refereeing forever?
Well, how can he referee?
First of all, calling somebody a cunt, or to say it out loud, it's a very aggressive word. Now, I'm from the East End of London. I call my friends that word, and it's a term of endearment, right? But that's what's so amazing about the word here in England. It can be used in the most friendliest way and the most horrific way in the space of a few seconds. But the one thing that's being ignored still, and I'm so disappointed in the overlap, one of the best, I know this is called Stick to Football, but it's all part of the overlap universe. They're all ignoring the xenophobic, bigoted element of calling him a German. Let's continue.
Just avoid Liverpool matches.
I know, but then say he's refereeing Arsenal, Man United, and they're competing. They'll be so... I just don't think...
You said that under your breath at the end of your answer. I don't see how he can referee in this country again. To be honest with you, I think that will probably be the likely outcome, knowing the way in which we're obviously going. But my view is that if you call Jurgen Klopp a or Erik ten Hag a
It's
a big leap for a guy to make a big mistake like that, or whatever, to say it never referee. That's my point, right? I agree.
Well, this is the thing, though. Since this has been recorded, and yesterday I defended the video. Not defended the video of him allegedly taking illegal substances, but I felt like, why is a friend or why has somebody shared this? There are now reports, actually, people have been blackmailing him for a long time, which makes you wonder, like, who has he been hanging around with? If they've been blackmailing him for what? Now, these are allegations, and I want to make sure I'm very, very firm on that. But I realised something after I recorded yesterday's video. When he is allegedly taking that Colombian magic dust, he was working during Euro 2024. And when people say, should he be able to work again, it's his private life. If your company or if an organization you work for as an employee, as a contractor, sends you away, puts you up in a hotel, it might be a conference, it might be a training course, it might be to go and, I don't know, do some consultancy work with a client for a month, and they put you up in an accommodation. If you're in that accommodation, breaking the law, recording it, you are going to lose your job. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. And if these other allegations are true, he's done. And there is no defense. If he's been talking to minors as alleged, okay? If there's more videos of him doing these drugs, there's videos and pictures of him out at night with ladies of the night. You know, all these things combined, is that the type of person you want refereeing your games? Coupled with the fact that, again, Gary Neville here again is ignored. For someone who is very left-wing, fair play to him. No issue with that. The fact he's ignoring the xenophobic element. Why are the mainstream media continuing to ignore this?
With you. To get from a point whereby you've called a manager what you called him, and then meaning that you're essentially cancelled and never referee again in this country. I'm struggling with that a little bit. I think maybe a suspension of some kind. A punishment, but then I think he should be able to come back.
I don't want someone he's done something stupid on, you know, you can imagine what the fella's going through right now. I don't want that, you know, talking about cancel culture, but...
See, don't use the term cancel culture. Cancel culture for me, when it's out of line, is a comedian made a joke 20 years ago and it now being used to lose him a deal, when it was a joke anyway. What David Coote is accused of from top to bottom and inside out, I don't think that constitutes as cancel culture, in my personal opinion.
The point being is, how could he then... So he could never referee a Liverpool game, but how could he then...
But his issues were with Klopp. On the other side, his issue was with Klopp.
No, but then the fella next to him says, oh, we hate Scousers, or whatever. What I'm saying is, whether he's had a few drinks, we all say stupid things. Yeah. But my point being is, it's not just that he can't referee Liverpool. How does he referee Everton, if they give Everton...
Very true.
You'll just... The amount of eyes... The thing I despise...
That I agree with.
Most about social media is not people giving me stick, is when a referee makes a decision and that whole fan base is like, the world's against us, oh, we need done that. And it's like, honestly, even my own fan base, I like that. But it's like, whoever it is, I'm like, I can't get into my head that, like, a referee's like that, because you'd never sleep, you'd never be able to, like, I've just got to go.
Well, first and foremost, Jamie, the first people we learn this from is you, the players. We grow up as children watching you criticise the referees during and after games. You, your managers, everybody, okay, of giving us that information. The referee was wrong. The referee cheated. The referee doesn't like us. You guys as footballers, and I'm talking the general view, you guys put this into our minds. But the problem is this show itself revealed something only a few short weeks ago. Take a little listen to this. Is why fans think that this stuff exists. Just take a little listen.
All day long to me. And when you watch it from that angle, he's caught his own heel. Leon says he got caught, he didn't, but to this day.
Do you think you're sometimes judged
anybody, would he?
But do you think you're sometimes judged because it is Catamol, like, and he's known for fouling?
Yeah. Graham Paul once came in to do a talk.
So I've been looking for this clip for about 2 or 3 days. I know we put the comments up yesterday, but here's the clip of Gary Neville talking about something Graham Paul said. Now, this has got to be nearly 20 years ago because Roy Keane chimes in and was there, and he left Man United in 2005, so keep listening.
For us, and said that he carried over feelings and thoughts and emotions from previous incidents with players and instances. He did say that.
You can't do that.
He did say that.
He did say it was...
So you heard Ian Wright go, surely you can't do that. Now listen to Roy Keane.
Yeah, he came in and we spoke. The bottom line he was saying, just say during the game, you're giving him loads of stick during the game.
Yeah.
And he's got a decision to make.
He's going against you.
He says, human nature is, I'm going against you.
See, when I see and I hear that, and that was said on the show only a month ago. So Graham Paul admitted this 20 years ago it was going on. We have seen, of course, and we put the comments up yesterday, where Graham Paul has stated, this was 10 years ago, that Clattenburg gives nothing to a side where once their fans have turned against him, as an example. We have then seen the media, of course, continue this onslaught and this attack against Liverpool and Arsenal, who, wrote letters and put out tweets and statements about how inconsistent, poor, and potentially biased the refereeing has become. And I think on top of this, which again doesn't go unnoticed amongst fans, is you see these videos of more often, and I've played this already, and we're going to play it again in case you've missed it, of referees admitting when they've broken protocol or had biases. Take a little listen, then we're coming back to Jamie Carragher's comment here.
He's cautioned both managers. He's had a hell of a game. It's been such a tough game end to end. And I said to Andy afterwards, I just didn't want attention to the screen after what's gone on in the game. And I didn't want to send him up because he's a mate as well as a referee. And
basically,
so he didn't want to send Anthony Taylor to the screen to reverse a decision because he thought he'd get more stick for it. The irony is he got more stick for the decision not being given, but he did it because he was a mate, as opposed to trying to referee the game in a fair, impartial and integral way. Now, this here is on Redmen. This is ex-referee Mark Halsey stating that he was told by the PGMOL to lie.
What he's come out and said is, I've been in that situation when I've seen an incident and been told to say I haven't seen it.
You can read all about it in my book.
To be fair to the FA, it's not them. It's come from within the PGMOL. Christ.
Like, mate.
Now, this is Danny Simpson talking about a player that should have been sent off for Leicester. Listen to what the referee said to him.
Wow. I think he should have sent someone off. And he said something like, should have sent you off there, but I want you to win it.
But I want you to win it. But I want you to win it, is what the referee said. This is crazy. And Jamie Carragher wants to ask questions as to why fans think that referees have a bias. You, the players, for years have called them out. The managers that we have loved and respected have called them out. The referees themselves, for over 20 years now, and we have actual evidence of it, have admitted to having biases. They've called each other out for them. They've admitted they've broken protocol because they don't want to get their friends in trouble. They've admitted that the PGMOL has told them to lie about decisions. Referees have admitted that they have not sent players off to help teams win titles. This is all out there. The evidence is there. So for Jamie Carragher, again, a man as a pundit who I respect, a player who is excellent, to sit there and say, I hate it when fans think there's a conspiracy against them. I'm sorry, mate. You're so tone deaf. And this is why I've said for the last week, Liverpool and Arsenal especially, and look, by the way, I think that Chelsea could come under this. We've already seen Nottingham Forest and Wolves, but they're smaller football clubs in terms of their media attention. I still fervently believe right now that the PGMOL, the Premier League, and the mainstream media, Sky Sports, TNT, TalkSports, are going to go in hard on the likes of Liverpool, on the likes of Arsenal, because they're making such a big thing of this. They're putting these pundits, these journalists, these officials under the spotlight. They're placing the scrutiny upon them. And for some strange reason, the mainstream media want to continue to sort of, oh, you know what, I can't believe somebody was recording him. I don't think he should lose his job. Is it really that bad calling somebody a swear word, a pejorative, ignoring the xenophobic element, and then ignoring all the other things that as football fans we've seen? The refereeing decisions have become ever more inconsistent. We're flabbergasted by the lack of consistency, even though that video refereeing now exists and should have slowed this down. A lot of us believe there could be deep biases, grudges, and sorts of emotional feelings, negative emotional feelings towards particular football clubs by certain by certain referees that are damaging the integrity of the game. Now, I, for one, want to only focus on my club. I want it to be about my manager's coaching, my team's performance, the way my owners run the club. And that is still a talking point on many of our shows as fans, and we'll continue to focus on it. But ignoring this glaring problem with the PGMOL, in my opinion, is an abomination to this game. There's something off about any individual, any media outlet, any ex-pro who just wants to brush this under the carpet and say, let's leave it alone, eh? Let's get back to the football. For me, this is deeply, deeply troubling. The PGMOL have been exposed again. The mainstream media, I think, are so tone deaf on this. It's actually painful to listen to. And I don't want there to be a personal onslaught towards David Coote whatsoever, but a professional one must continue. I see that his position is untenable, but it cannot stop with David Coote. independent assessment of what is going on behind the scenes at the PGMOL is needed, and it is needed quickly. As ever, I want to garnish this show with your views, your opinions in the comments section below. Please make sure you hit the like and the share button. And if you agree with me, great. If you don't and you want to push back, feel free to as well. You're not going to be banned on the Football Terrace. We're open to all opinions here. We really, really are. But for me, I think the PGMOL and the Premier League are going to try not to open a can of worms. But what does this tell us about the decision making? What does it tell you about the way football is operating in this country? And a question I have, because many of us feel this way, why is the media so behind them? Why are the media so protective? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings and your opinions? Get them in the comments section below, and we'll see you all again soon. Thank you.